if you need to, okay?
And
Hello, hello, hello. We should be live. We are live. Okay.
we're live.
Thank you. Yes, we're live. Thank you for your patience, folks. Some difficulties there, but we are here. We are back, and super excited for this next one, y'all, because our resident expert, truly the person of the hour, or however long it takes, honestly, is here with us today. Our very own William of California, who or RadioJoe, who will be giving us the thorough rundown on what the heck this Patriot Act is,
Yeah.
and also making memes with it.
Hopefully.
We will. We have plans. Anyway, let's all make sure to introduce ourselves again. I know most of us just went on, but for re-recording for log's sake, I am Anthony J. I am the Outreach Chair of the United States Pirate Party, and I am a connoisseur of memes, particularly those that have to do with politics.
Ooh, memes. That's a spicy meme.
RadioJoe?
Hi, I'm William. I'm the alternative state representative for California, and I guess resident expert of the Patriot Act. We'll see.
You know more than we do.
That's what I'm selling you as.
Yeah.
That's what I'm selling you as. So, you gotta own it now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Yari?
Yeah, hi. I'm Yari, and I am the Pirate National Committee chair. I too reside in California, and I have been known to eat lots of salami as a feast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Megan?
Okay, I am Megan Klein. I am the former chair, former vice chair. I used to be part of Wisconsin, and also I'm just the everywhere go around, UN throw at, all that jazz. And also connoisseur of memes, but not the political kind, more like the video game kind.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just so everyone is aware, something that Megan has experienced firsthand, once you join the Pirate Party, you cannot leave. You will try to get away as quickly as you can. It will not happen. So fair
Welcome
word
to
of warning.
Hotel California.
Once you join that Discord, we'll have you forever.
Wow, AJ, wow.
I've been part of the Pirate Party voluntarily and involuntarily for several years. So once you join, you will not leave, like the Hotel California,
I mean, I can also attest to that. I did join, then tried to get out, not of the Pirate Party so much, but out of politics, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Wow. Didn't work.
Wow. I've been part of the Pirate Party.
Who's AJ?
Some...
That's you.
That's not me.
Not me.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, that's okay.
Will.
All right. So Will, give us the memes.
All right.
So a little bit of... remember to screen share, but
can I?
Yes, you should be able to screen share.
Okay,
if you so desire, at any point.
Yeah, let's give that a second. So,
what is your desire?
For viewers, what I'm sure most of the people here already know, we will be doing a tier list of what was originally the Patriot Act. What?
Oh no, I was just
sections of the Patriot Act. It is now the more relevant sections, I've toned down what was like 128 pages of this Goliath of a thing.
Well, I'm sorry. You don't want to go through all 128 pages? Is that what you're saying?
I thought we were ranking every page individually. That's why I scheduled us for 2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
No.
Oh.
Sorry. I do have...
I don't think even Snowden could suffer that.
Anyway, let's continue.
Covering 3 sections to a degree is already taking up like a good 3 pages of a document. So it'll in terms of notes. So what we will be doing is we will be doing section 1, a large portion of section 2, which is that's where a lot of the stuff that we're interested in comes into play, where it's regarding surveillance, wiretapping, just issues with individual privacy regarding that. And then there's a few other highlights where I believe we have section 412, which is the section on, being put on the spot.
You're good. I feel like, honestly, it's got to be like digesting most of this act. From what you've told me, not just now, but earlier, it does feel very much like, I mean, if we're going to go with meme format, the whole like, what is it? The lady with the math. You know? The lady with the math. The one who goes...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
You know, with the math.
Oh, yeah.
Part of
I don't
that's
know.
just...
Yeah,
I feel like I need to just have it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay,
You
yeah.
have some
So
Drake
section...
shit, and it's like this. Yeah. I have a Drake meme going on in the thing.
All right, so Patriot Act tier list.
Yeah,
You ready?
so we'll be doing section 412 and section 505 alongside that. So let me stream my screen.
All right.
This is actually going to be difficult. Can I share the link with someone else to the tier maker?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Yari, can you?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I got the
Okay.
whole stream machine up.
I will designate
kidding?
you tier maker.
Tier maker.
Tier maker 5000 at the ready.
Yeah.
Ah!
Did you follow my suggestion and make the worst category literally 1984 tier? Or?
I did. It seems
Okay.
to have. Oh shoot! The colors swapped themselves. Well, okay.
That's all right.
Red is going to be the best in this situation.
Okay.
Whoops. Okay. Anyways, while Yari's doing that,
Yeah.
let's get started. So
Oh.
first of all, what?
Hang on, I am. We're getting set up. About to do it. Wait. Okay, wait. Take your time.
This one's kind of a little bit separate from the tier list. This is more of a separate conversation.
Okay.
So one of the leading sections within the Patriot Act is the findings Congress had on sense of Congress condemning discrimination against Arab and Muslim Americans. This is one of the first sections within the Patriot Act, and it does. Would you like me to read it out? It's quite
Of course.
long. So
Got it. Should I be sharing this right now? Sorry or not?
No, you can share it. Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of a
Ooh.
summary.
Sorry,
So
1987, 1984.
Oh,
This is literally 1987.
Mussolini called. Mistakes
I'm
were
sorry.
made passable. Good legislation. Amazing. Okay. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Okay.
So
which act are we discussing right now?
we are discussing Act 106. Some of the
106.
numbers got cut off.
Oh, no.
That's 2 and 5. That's 1, 2, 2, 1, 6, 1, 0. It's hard to read.
Oh god.
But yes, there is basically
106.
one good part of the Patriot Act that they don't really even follow, unfortunately.
Yeah, so a lot of what this discussed was kind of it was a large issue at the time. There was a lot of discrimination, or it still is, but it was even worse immediately after 9/11. There were a lot of Arab Americans, Muslim Americans, and Americans from South Asia being discriminated against non-violently as well as violently for various reasons. And this was just a verbal condemnation of the actions that occurred at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
what is it? Is this the one that is basically saying we promise we're not going to discriminate?
it's that, and it's also saying American citizens should not as well. I actually do have a short little blurb from Abdullah, our Muslim American pirate, resident Muslim pirate.
Yes. Is it the letter that he wrote? Because that is its own section.
It's not that. I asked this.
Okay. All right.
I pasted in the section, and I just asked for his opinion on it. Quoting him, I believe that this section is simply talk, but if you look closely at the Patriot Act and the consequences of it, it disproportionately affects Muslim and Arab Americans, as well as foreigners. So, based on that information, what do we think? What ranking are we thinking?
Because do we put it in good legislation because it is good on paper, or do we just put it in passable because because they didn't live up to it at all, and because the American people
was there ever
any
any intention to live up to it, or was it just here's my question? Like this is the piece that I think is most dependent on everything else, right? Because it's like it's like this is the piece that's like. You're talking about the one piece of the Patriot Act that's like, oh, okay, so everything else is like doing all this other shit, and then this is the piece that's like, let's put a tiny veneer of niceness over it.
Yeah.
Right?
That is, from what I saw, that is kind of apparent. They specifically did put it in section 1, which is like obviously it's the title, statement of purpose, stuff like that. And general ideas, and it's put in a section called enhancing domestic security against terrorism. So it's I feel like it was just thrown in there on its own, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Meg wants to say something.
Like, is it lip service? It's like, that's the point. Is like it's lip service. It's not the fact that really they actually want to do anything about it, not that they want to speak about it, not that they want to do anything about it. It's like, we're here for equality and proper respect of every American citizen because we're fine Americans. Yeah. We're just afraid of those brown people from overseas, but we're not going to say that. But we want to make sure that everyone knows that if you're a WASP, you're okay.
Yeah.
That's more of it's the disclaimer. It's not that they actually believe the disclaimer, not that they actually review the disclaimer.
No, I think phrasing is a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I think, do we put it in mistakes were made then?
I would say...
Did he try?
Because honestly, if you look at just without context, just the act on its own, it does only pay lip service, but it does seem genuine to a degree. I mean, it's not like it's just... oh, we condemn this and stuff. They
no, that's kind of how it went. It was more of a hijabi back in the day, and this was definitely lip service through and through. I mean, you had people that you had feds that visit mosques. I mean, seriously, it's lip service.
That's mistakes were made is my vote.
I would also err on the side of mistakes were made here. It's like. It's like, this is it's like, it's like saying it's the empty apology. It's not even the empty apology. It's the oh, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
It's I didn't mean to, but
yeah, it's the I didn't mean to stab you.
Not only
But
that, I am
With
I
a
am
knife.
about to stab you, but I just want to let you know that I don't actually mean it. This is
Uh-huh.
premeditated, but I just want you to know that it's a premeditated accident.
Yep.
Real quick,
Yep. Mistakes were made.
Can you switch 106 with 102?
Uh,
Huh?
I'd said the wrong one. It's 102 actually.
Oh, this is
Okay,
102?
so
One or two.
102 is
102.
Manila. Yeah,
102.
yeah. Sorry, my mistake.
What's 106?
That one is an increase in presidential powers. It was really weird because it's like this.
Mussolini
it's
called.
massive, it's one of the larger ones, but it's just like it's 20 different things that are like we replace the word "and" with the words "and national security" and whatever.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Mussolini called. That's where they like put in the whole like here's the detail of what you can change the verbiage to in your lawmaking. It's
Yeah.
the definition of how discriminatory or how
Yeah.
this is
So
going to
this is
operate or how we
the
can now say.
so this is just the expansion of executive powers blatantly. Is that
Yeah.
what this one's about?
to a degree, it's giving presidential authority over certain terrorist events, or sorry, terrorist related investigations. There's no real controversy around it. I believe, just observing from an outsider without much context, it's not that bad. But it is that whole thing of like it did change a lot of stuff in short succession, which was a little bit weird. So I don't know. I think just in terms of quality of life, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I guess the question is like, how much did it allow the executive branch to expand the scope of their
Not too much from what I
stuff?
think, but it is impossible to read. Would you
Okay.
like me to read you a?
Sure,
Oh,
sure, go for it.
please. Oh,
Read us a
please.
segment.
You are always welcome to read segments from the Patriot Act. This is your section, my friend.
Sure. Let me just read the first little area. Section 203 of the International Emergency Powers Act, 50 USC 1702, for anyone interested.
Wait, sorry, this is 203 now?
Wait.
This they're amending is amended. So they're amending a different international or US code 1702.
All right.
And
Oh,
so
okay.
in A1 at the end of paragraph A, flush to that subparagraph by striking end colon semicolon and sorry
So
quote colon and quote and inserting a comma and the following by any person or with respect to any property. I should just stream this.
yeah. So they're just changing. They're just literally just going back into old laws and just changing them to be more aggressive.
Oh, so they're
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, please.
Just right there.
Oh, interesting.
I don't.
At the end of subparagraph, flush to that subparagraph. I hate that. I hate that. Can I just say that I hate that?
Oh yeah.
There's
At the end of the subparagraph A, flush to that subparagraph. Let's just clarify. At the end of subparagraph A, but flush to that subparagraph. In case you weren't well aware which one we were talking about, because I know it can be unclear. By striking and inserting a comma and the following by any person or with respect to any property subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. So what is that International Emergency Powers Act?
It means literally nothing. I mean, like it looks like a lot, but it's just ever so slightly widening their powers and
right. So widening it to to any person and any property in the jurisdiction of the U.S.
Yeah, when they call a national emergency, they have the ability to it's not like commandeering, but it's like they with compensation they can purchase your land and use it.
Oh, so eminent domain is expanded.
Yeah, like an expansion of eminent domain.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I appreciate that you're looking at SCP, by the way. Here's a question. How long have we been under an emergency?
Oh God.
You said so. It said emergency powers. Are we under a national emergency according to the International Emergency Powers Act, or
No,
have we been?
I think the last time that happened, I don't think Biden's called a national emergency. I think Trump did when it was for some dumb reason. I don't remember exact. I think it was having to do with his wall. But when the president calls a national emergency, he can not unionize. He can take under wing some companies and properties and stuff and use them as his own, along with the National Guard. And
this is very shady. It feels very evil. But
does.
I don't think it impacts. Like, this is literally just going over old acts and changing them and realizing, oh hey, in a time that there wasn't an emergency, we couldn't get away with making this even worse, so we're going to go back in and do it now. But at the same time, I don't know how much these minor changes really affect our life, so I'm thinking maybe it's still like mistakes were made here.
I'm kind of leaning passable, but like it's passable in the sense that like I don't know. I mean, it is. I hear you. Mistakes were made in the sense that like it's the slow whittling of congressional power, and that's so frustrating, right? It's like let's just slowly expand the scope of executive power and slowly whittle down legislature's power, and just like
yeah. Do we know if this program has on the line functionality where you could put it on the line between two? Because that's what I would vote for.
Oh, I don't think so. We can try.
Just try and drag it to the line. Oh shoot!
Oh no!
Oops.
What did we do?
My bad. I got it. Okay, so 102 was on mistakes were made.
Yeah.
106.
Okay, I don't think we can.
Okay. Well,
we have to choose.
I'll compromise with passable, but I'm leaning towards mistakes were made.
In terms of like the contents of the thing, I would say passable, but in terms of just how it was written, probably mistakes were made. So I would say passable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, we can do passable. All right, what's next?
We'll do passable. I mean, you got to pick one. We got to pick one.
Okay.
These are our categories.
We got to get this moving. It's been a half hour.
Yeah.
We've only done 2.
Oh my god. It's going to get a lot faster. So we've now reached section 2. Section 1 was pretty short. It was just kind of an introduction. There were a few things on financials and stuff. They set a separate amount aside for like fighting terrorism. They created I think it was a branch of the FBI that was more for cybercrime. So stuff like that. Section 2, section 201 is the sense of Congress authority to intercept wire, oral, and electronic communications relating to terrorism.
Sorry, say that again.
So there's a lot that have the same name, or 2 that have the same name. Authority to intercept wire, oral, and electronic communications relating to terrorism. Sounds a lot worse than it actually is.
You're gonna have to really convince me on that one.
The relating to terrorism. I've
been in the political sphere long enough to know how that much can be stretched. In
a vacuum, I'm thinking Mussolini called. However, with the other stuff, I'm thinking. Considering how we're defining terrorism, maybe I want to make a case for literally 1984.
Yeah, give us the details, please. Yeah. Give us the details, please. Well, how is this not? How is this not 1984? That's what I'm curious. How is this?
This is literally 1984.
Specifically, what it does is this is kind of a lead up to the next one, so it's really not as bad as the next one. So
the next one's going to be worse.
So excited to hear that one.
So it does some redesignation of paragraphs in the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act. So
you want to show us those again?
I could stream it again, sure.
Please. I love seeing the them going, edit this, edit that. We're just
I wonder if I
go
could
in
just
and
stream. Yeah, I could stream specific.
I
times.
have to wonder if that's like how most of these things are set up.
Oh, it is.
Mhm.
It totally is. It's the weirdest thing, but yeah, a good half of them are like that, where it's just it switches one thing for another. So, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, you're set. You're fine.
Okay, but like, so this one, I didn't understand it at first, but it makes more sense now. So, what it does is it increases it makes it easier for people to be prosecuted under the death penalty in the first section to adding chemical weapons and terrorism just to the list of things that can be prosecuted under the death penalty.
So it expanded the death penalty.
With evidence and
Yes, but that's still expanding the death penalty.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no, sure. I can see. I mean, I'm not a fan. I'll be honest.
Yeah, with evidence from intercepting wire or electronic communications related.
Okay.
So that's
You're
how
not-
it relates to the title.
You're not making a good case for Section 201 here, Will.
Go on. Well, please.
By
please,
comparison, it's okay.
Go on. Is it
By
so it's
comparison, it's okay.
Right. Is it just is the expansion of death penalty
And
so that redoesn't
it's not going to make any sense. Like,
Right. I was gonna say I'm reading this and I'm going any criminal violation of Section 229 is this. Okay, so it's just that.
yeah, so it's what was I going to say?
It's just the expansion of
what investigations can be used to intercept this stuff to just chemical weapon crimes relating to chemical weapons and crimes relating to terrorism, and expanding the death penalty for those.
So
By comparison.
So okay, well, hang on. So what's okay? I mean, death penalty things aside, although that's a whole conversation. Okay, conversation. Death penalty conversation. We're putting that over. Okay. This second bit that's saying the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996 that's being revised to include. That is being revised to include chemical weapons and terrorism stuff.
Yeah, what's that mean? That would be good.
What does that act do? What does that act do?
That, I believe that's what I was saying, where it's things that can be like, you know what? I'm gonna look it up.
It sounds
bad. Let's find out. Let's find out.
It sounds like something I probably wouldn't like.
What I believe that section was,
as a pirate,
was or is on. Oh God! Come on, is it not here? Okay. There we go. I believe it's on the death penalty, but I might be wrong.
So this basically just like the premise is we're expanding the death penalty.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find the specific section 2013.
2013 Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996. Did you find it? You got it?
I got it.
I don't have to take care of it. Thank you so much.
Yep,
You are educating us all.
Streaming now.
RadioJoe, you are so.
All right.
Your education is appreciated.
Yep. This is it, right? No, this might not be it. Shoot. By inserting paragraphs 3, so reason designated by saying. Oh no. So this is the thing that caught me off. So this was redesignated before by the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. So what we actually need to find is this. And then it's hard to explain. It'll make more sense once I do actually look at the thing.
Will it?
Well, in the meantime, I'm not liking this one very much. How are you?
Okay,
feeling
well,
there?
I mean, here's the thing, AJ. Are you not liking this one because of the death penalty thing.
I'm not liking this
There we go.
one because of the death penalty. I'm not liking this one because it increases, government
Don't get me
surveillance.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Evidence says that death penalty is completely ineffective, and also at least the evidence that I have been presented with consistently says that the death penalty is both ineffective and more costly than life in prison alternatives, and frankly restorative justice is my jam, but that's a different conversation. So yes.
And we're finding it now, so I could be wrong about the implications, but I really don't like the fact that the death penalty and government surveillance are being brought along in the same breath that we're talking about illegal immigration.
Sure.
Well with me.
Sure.
So let me clue you in here.
Clue
So this is the original section. We'll get to it in a second. This P area, this P paragraph, was redesignated by this one.
Is it a redesignation of a redesignation?
Oh God, it's a redesignation of a redesignation of a redesignation.
Oh,
what?
Redesignated by the anti-terrorism and effective death penalty.
It's a meme of a meme of a meme.
And then it was
lost.jpg
by the illegal
in
immigration reform
immediately because our government can't keep getting away with this.
It is. No, it is. I don't know. I mean, there is something to be said about judging it on its merits on its own. But AJ, you do it. There is also something to be said here about how this is like the lost.jpg but with sticks of the freaking law world at this point.
Yeah, so as I was saying, this is the original US Code 2516.
If you have any good loss memes about the Patriot Act, please send them our way.
I want a lost.jpg meme about the Patriot Act. Yes.
I don't know how that would be made.
Someone will make it. Someone will make it. Someone, you watching this?
Yeah, if you want to
lost.jpg Patriot Act version, I believe it.
Send it to us on Twitter. Tag it with Unpatriot Act.
Hashtag Unpatriot Act.
So I'm gonna be talking for a second so I can find a charger.
Yeah, you gotta plug in your computer.
So for this one, what it does is oh God, do I not have a charger at this house?
Oh no.
Are we gonna lose this?
I might be doing it on my phone.
That's all right.
So am I still streaming?
Yes, you're still streaming.
You are still, yeah.
So it gives various groups, Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, that whole list, the authority to allow someone asking for an order or authorization to intercept wire oral communications by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So it basically just gives lawmakers the ability to approve this type of investigation under a wider scope of things. So that's
okay. So it's not as bad as I previously thought.
Well, this is the original. This is the original.
Wait, so
this is the original.
We have to go back
to the
modification, all of the other layers, and figure out what's going on, or
So the original says. So what I'm hearing is the original says that lawmakers can tell the FBI to search your stuff under a broader scope of things.
Mm-hmm.
No, lawmakers can approve FBI's request to do that.
Gotcha.
That's actually going to become important later because it's not a warrant; it's its own thing.
Right.
Pardon me.
I just want to note, we're 40 minutes in. We might have to.
Can I ask a question? You said lawmakers.
Oh.
This is attorney generals, aren't
That's
they?
a fair point. That is not the same.
They are part of the executive branch and are not lawmakers.
Sorry, my bad.
Yep. Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, thank you, Wilson.
Okay. Sorry.
So the executive branch. Wait a minute. So that's the executive branch approving something from somewhere else within the executive branch.
Yes.
Kind of. Yeah.
That's already a
Goodbye,
little
checks
bit.
and balances.
That's already a little bit wacky, isn't it?
Well, it's not that, the executive branch doesn't already give the executive branch ability to execute things, because that's kind of why we have an executive branch. But it is a little... It feels weird. It feels uncomfy.
No, actually, Congress has defined a bunch of kind of rails, stops, whatever you want to call it, on sections of the executive branch. Like, for example, the Attorney General of the United States isn't really supposed to spy on members of the legislative branch. Right?
It seems like a very narrow distinction, though.
But no. I mean, there are rules.
Yeah.
And
yeah, of course.
There are also rules between of bias within one branch or another. The Attorney General is head of the Justice Department, and the Justice Department can't do certain things. For example, it can't whitewash an investigation into the president. It could try.
Right.
So how do we feel about Section 201?
I've returned with the charger. And...
All right. Welcome, William. I'm thinking... I don't know. Mussolini called as appealing to me.
Yeah. I think mistakes were no, because mistakes
were made feels too lenient. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Mussolini called. I think for
we'll
myself.
go Mussolini called on that one.
Because it's not. It isn't just. It isn't just like. It does feel very. Yeah, it feels bad.
Okay.
It feels bad.
Really gonna love Section 202 then.
I'm so excited.
Right, oh boy,
okay, great.
Section 202.
Oh, good.
Okay. Authority
We're
to
just putting it
intercept
there already.
So this is okay. Just for anyone watching, not fully paying attention, this is immediately after the judicial branch gets a larger ability to give permission to the FBI to intercept this stuff. Yeah. So
yes.
Section 202, Section 2516C of Title 18 United States Code is amended by striking, and Section 1341 relating to mail fraud and inserting. Oh shoot, this isn't the one I was thinking of. This one's okay. Yeah.
Okay, what's this one? What's 202?
So this one is technological. It's just based around technological advancement. So it takes Section 2516.
You could just give us a summary if you want. We are short on time a little bit. Well, not super short on time, but
we're not short on time. We can't.
It increases.
We only scheduled 2 hours. We can go over, but do we want to spend 3 hours of our life on this?
Nope.
So it. Yeah. Yep. So with this, so it gives. This is the same thing. In this section, Section C, you don't have to read through all of this. It increases this to computer fraud and abuse. So they can intercept cyber criminals, stuff like that. This one's fairly benign.
Right. So this is changing. This is what I'm hearing is Section 202 is saying, okay, originally we just had laws about mail fraud, and now we should also also let those laws apply to cyber criminal activity.
Okay. So is that our first piece of legitimate legislation?
I think so.
I would agree. I would agree.
All right.
I'm gonna say that's genuinely decently good legislation. I wouldn't say it's great legislation, but it's decently good legislation. What? Yeah, ideally a good really good legislation would be okay, well, yeah, we should have similar categories, but we should probably think of some other
Yeah.
There should maybe be some different thoughts, different
Yeah.
prosecution
not-
methods for cybercriminals.
The highest tier here is not good legislation. It's just we are okay with having this in our country and can disagree more respectfully if need be.
Yeah. What's 203 then?
203 is the one that a lot of people have had issues with.
Okay.
So,
Lay it on me.
authority to share criminal investigative information. So this gives the section for anyone who's reading along with the actual Patriot Act. Probably no.
Oh yeah, I got my copy right here.
Yeah.
Did everyone bring their copies of the Patriot Act?
Yeah. Got my little booklet.
Yeah. This is the Patriot Act reading club and study table. This week we tackle 203. See us in 2 months when we tackle 204. It's a long process, but we want to make sure we want to make sure we really soak up all of the words. It's kind of like a Bible study, except for the Patriot Act.
So,
please turn your pages to section 203. Yeah, continue, RadioJoe.
Please go on, please.
So
break us out of the bed.
Sorry, I'm trying to put together the information I have on this.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, so this is a very large turning point in judicial process. So it essentially gives certain groups such as judicial branch and the FBI the ability to share information with one another on investigations regarding terrorism and similar other things. Not just terrorism, though. So it gives, I believe, general ability to do so, which can have a lot of issues with kind of, as far as I understand, it's a very long one and it's got a lot of
what's the gist?
References to other things. So I'm just going to give a gist.
Yeah.
So it permits people to share otherwise confidential matters occurring before the grand jury with intelligence officials, though it requires notice to the court within reasonable time after such disclosure.
Sorry, after such disclosure.
Yeah, so they have that information and then later just say, oh, we
already shared that.
Yeah, we already did that. Oh yeah, I think this is one of the ones that I looked into a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, so
it means the government can do things and put off telling people about it. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, it's very non-specific.
It's not super good on the transparency front, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The United States Pirates, one of our big things, government transparency.
Just Patriot a bit.
Patriot
not
Act
so good on
government transparency. We would like to keep our officials accountable, and that means they kind of have to tell you things when they do them.
Pirate Party is no longer friends. No longer friends with the Patriot Act. My new best friend is government transparency.
With the Patriot Act.
New best friend is government transparency. There's your new meme. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, and then yeah, that's pretty much the general gist of larger issues around it.
So what I'm hearing.
That's
is
what
that
section B and D. Sorry.
Is that? Oh, are there other sections? What I'm hearing is that it's the gist of it is that it's allowing federal investigative it's allowing federal investigative groups to share information between each other that includes stuff that might be in court cases.
Yeah. And
which would normally be like a closed stuff.
Yeah.
Like
and they can do that without they don't have to let you know
without letting the court know.
Yeah, and that's
until
either
afterwards.
direction. And this is also it. Sorry, I have to go let my cat out.
It's all right.
Let me out the room for a second. So it's also.
I'm ready to put this in Mussolini calls. That's like some secret police stuff.
The one thing about it is it does specify that shared information is specifically information captured from wiretapping, interception of digital information, stuff like that. It's
Oh.
not just any information.
Well, still don't like that. They
Yeah.
gave themselves earlier. They gave themselves the ability to include nuance. I don't really think that's a nuanced take on their part. They knew what they were doing. That's why they included better expansions for wiretapping and such. They set it up so that this would look less bad because now they don't have to do everything. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's not nuance when you set all of the things up before so that nuance actually means you get your way anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we thinking?
Probably Mussolini called.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't go as far as 1984.
It's not literally 1984. Not yet.
Oh,
All right,
gotcha.
what's next?
Oh, did Miss Boson leave?
That is not her name.
I don't know her
Name's
name.
Meg.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Meg left. Meg ducked out for a bit. Yeah, Meg might not be joining us again.
All right.
I'm still here. I'm just gonna drop off camera for a second.
That's all right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So what's this one?
Section. Oh god, we were just at section 203. Okay, there we go. Section 204, clarification of intelligence exceptions from limitations on interception and disclosure of wire and electronic communications. This one is one that they're all vague. It's short.
Of course they are.
Doesn't really do much as far as I can see. Let me stream. Hey. There we go. This is it right here. So it, yeah.
We got to keep our spirits up, Will. We've got so many of these to go through.
Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to read and think at the same time.
That's all right.
So it increases the. Oh no, I can't read. It's basically it's similar. It's on the same vein of like it gives a larger ability, or it changes with technological advancement, where it increases a certain ability of the government to intercept electronic alongside wire and oral information transfer. So I would say it's on the same line as 203.
Where did we put 203 again?
We put 203 in
Mussolini called.
Wait.
I thought we put 203 in. Wait, no, we put 203 in Mussolini called, but I.
Oh wait, no, it's 202. I meant.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think we.
202 is in good legislation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's There's no real controversy around it. That's pretty much all it does. As you can see, it's really short.
We can put that in decent legislation or whatever we called it.
Yeah. Some of these are going to be like 30-second things, and some of these are going to be really long.
Fair enough.
Okay. Section 205.
What's 205 doing?
Okay.
205.
This one's random and out of the blue, and it really has nothing to do with anything else of what was being said. This is on the employment of translators by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Okay.
So this gives... So this basically means that the FBI, they have to report the number of hired translators and risks associated with such to the, I believe it's Judiciary and the House of Representatives and the Senate. Basically just this stuff. It's random. I don't know why it's here. It's just...
Well, I know why it's here. because if they're reporting translators, basically just because they're afraid of foreigners, right? So they want more information on translators, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
reporting more information on translators to me seems like code word for, oh, we're not trustworthy of non-Americans. We need to keep tabs on them.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't give that kind of information to be required of that. So verbatim, this is the information it gives. The number of translators employed, any legal or practical impediments to using translators employed by other federal, state, or local agencies on a full, part-time, or shared basis, and the need of the FBI for specific translation services in certain languages and recommendations for meeting those needs.
Okay, so it's not as egregious as I thought at first, but then I'm just kind of wondering, this is random.
What the hell is it doing here?
Yeah,
A little bit.
I do. Maybe it's just something they needed to do all of their other nefarious schemes.
I think it's just housekeeping, to be honest.
I guess
Yeah.
it's just housekeeping.
I mean,
it feels sketchy though. Like, am I wrong in thinking that it feels a little?
You're not
little
wrong. You're
xenophobic?
not wrong that it feels sketchy, but also like, not everything in here is necessarily a nefarious scheme. It is a hodgepodge of nefarious schemes and housekeeping.
All
Yep.
right.
Pretty
As
much.
I think Radio Joe accurately stated.
Okay, then we can. I don't know.
Passable,
Passable?
Yeah, passable.
Because it's
good
just,
legislation. It's not even bad. It's just
It's not bad.
weird.
It's not bad legislation. We can do good legislation.
I would
It's
go
not
with
offensive
passable
legislation.
just
You want to go past?
because it's in the section labeled enhanced surveillance procedures, and
So you're
it
thinking
doesn't have
it
that
should
range.
just be somewhere else, frankly?
Yeah, it should be in the miscellaneous.
That's
tab.
fair.
There's
That's
so
fair.
many things. There's so many things.
You know
there's
what?
a miscellaneous tab specifically for this.
We're
That's fair.
judging. We're gonna start judging the Patriot Act on aesthetic qualities. We think putting this in
you know,
Section 200 was
Some
a terrible
bad design
mistake.
decisions were made, and I think that's valid.
I mean,
Among
yeah.
other things. Among other things, right? It was discriminatory. It was like increased the surveillance state,
And it's ugly.
like and it's got bad design decisions.
It's a mess. These guys need to go on. Well, I guess YouTube didn't exist yet, but now everyone that made the Patriot Act, I hope they've gone to YouTube and watched all of the videos about like good graphic design, and good layout and all of those fancy things, because they could have used it.
Yeah, a little bit more fuel for the graphic design fire. There's a title
Yeah.
that literally just has one section in it.
Why?
What?
It's yeah.
Title
We're not
Section
getting around to
701.
it during this, but like it's just there. I don't think it's even that long. It's just like boop here. Anyways, on to the next one.
I hate the Patriot Act even more now.
Oh god, where was I? 206.
We just finished 205. Yep.
Yep, 206, Roving Surveillance Authority under Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978.
Also, I don't believe that our viewers can see the tier list currently.
Oh,
No, that's
God,
fine. We no, they can't because we haven't been jumping back and forth. But
Oh, okay, that's good. I just wanted to make sure that if we were, then yeah. But if we're just doing this right now, then we're good.
Okay.
I think
they
we're
cannot
good.
see
Yeah.
the tier list
All right.
because
So what's
you
our
are
next
sharing
section?
your screen.
Oh, I should unshare my screen then.
Well, that's fine. It's up to you. Just want to let you know.
I'm sorry.
We can... All
Sorry,
right.
viewers.
I'm
What's
not.
our next section?
Okay, next section.
Oh,
Section
I think
206.
our live our screen share ended.
I stopped sharing. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
So how are you feeling about Patriot Act memes, dear chat? Okay, we're good. Please make Patriot Act memes. Tag them with Unpatriot Act on Twitter. I hope I'm gonna go to Twitter right now. If that lost meme isn't there, I'm gonna be very upset.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, it takes time to make a meme. AJ.
You think I can't whip that like I was about to say whip that out. That's not the idiom I'm going to use. Do you think I can whip that together in like 5 minutes if I wanted to? Look, we are running out of time here. Okay, we have to defeat the Patriot Act. We can't dilly dally on these memes. These memes are going to
That's
save
true.
America.
That's memes for
Memes for America.
Yeah, okay. Moving
Okay.
on.
Section 206
Uh-huh.
is interesting. Sorry.
What is it?
So it, in essence, gives agents investigating a target legal authority to get past parties covering the target. So, like groups that are interested in preventing the FBI from successfully intervening with wiretapping, stuff like that, it gives them the ability to not like prevent them from doing that, but to find, or I think it gives them, what is it called? It's like the tools necessary to get around them should they need to. So like if they're, I mean, this is a really dumb example, but like if they're boarding off one window to prevent a van from like looking in, it gives them the authority to drive to the other window. It's weird. So it's like they can't, I mean, it's more complicated than that.
Yeah, but
It's
but
like,
parties can't obstruct their investigation.
yeah,
And
no,
they won't do anything with the party, but they will. They have all the ability to get around them. So it is.
yeah,
They can still circumvent the wishes of other people in play. They're not going to do anything to the people, but they can. They will have all the means necessary to do what they need to do. Which
yes,
I. That is. It feels. Oh, I mean, a lot of this really feels like an obstruction of kind of what a lot of our justice system feels built on, is that the people in charge can't just do whatever they want and need to do. For investigation, there's a process, right? A due process. I don't. Sure, it's ethical for the government. I don't even know if it's ethical. You could make a very, very good case, and I guess it is technically the right thing to do if someone is guilty, to give the government the power to get around a roadblock like that. But
Right, but that's the thing. Like
it feels like an obstruction. It feels like an obstruction of the principle that a good justice system isn't that ruthless and plays by a certain set of rules that can be respected.
It's also assuming guilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fundamentally.
Right, yeah. So what are we ranking this? And to all right, yep, in the comments. Yeah, it is super confusing.
Yeah.
We're doing our best to like condense it into an actually like thing, but like if you want to like really know about this, you should take a look at some of these things.
So I'm thinking, I don't really see. I feel like we're almost gonna have to start moving things out of Mussolini called, because this is pretty Mussolini called to me.
Dude, we have plenty of space in that category. I don't know what you're talking about. There's tons of room there.
Okay, but this feels Mussolini called to me.
All right, cool.
What do you think, RadioJoe?
I agree with that.
Yeah, okay, I'm down.
Okay.
207.
All right.
Are we just going off the numbers? Is that what it is?
We're just going off the numbers.
Okay, sweet.
I was considering skipping 215 for now, because that one's the like really bad one.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there.
Effect, but we're gonna do that one because we're running out of time. Duration of FISA surveillance of non-United States persons who are agents of a foreign power. So yeah, 207.
What does agents of a foreign power mean?
Yeah.
This was classified under.
Did they clarify even?
It's clarified later, I think. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I wrote about this. Oh, great. I There's literally okay. Well, okay. I guess I skipped this one on accident. So we're going off a blank slate. I've read this one.
We can skip it.
Yeah, let's skip it for now, please.
We're moving on. 208.
208.
208.
208. I think I skipped that one just because I didn't understand it at all.
You know, that's fair.
It's okay.
I think it's just more ability to investigate foreign people. Pretty okay. Okay. So
What do you mean pretty okay?
no, I'm reading out my notes on the next one.
Okay.
So
Designation-
like I'm hearing like 207 and 208 are both about like in the investigation of foreign nationals.
No, 208's okay. 208's good.
Okay.
208
Why?
is unrelated to 207.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Do we want to come
Okay.
back to them?
Let's come back to 207.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 207 is on the investigation of foreign powers. 208 is on the designation of judges for cyber crimes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's not related.
Okay.
So this gives yeah.
Are we doing 209 then?
No, we're doing 208.
Okay.
Do we
Do
have
we
208?
understand?
We've gone
208?
back. We've gone right back. Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing 207. We are doing 208, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If that's yeah.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
So it
Your
gives-
panel.
It increases the number of court judges who are able to give warrants on surveillance of cyber crimes from 7
Okay.
district court judges to 11 district court judges.
That's
That's
these-
not
just
terrible,
an
is it?
increase, right?
Yeah. So
I mean,
it's
that's
What
just
that job amongst more people.
yeah.
basically.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's not bad, right? Because I do think that's a reasonable. If I understand it right, it feels like maybe a reasonable response just to the fact that the internet and digital technology is becoming more
Well,
was
and
becoming
also
more
if-
important at the time.
Also, if you're going to be writing this whole law that's going to create a bunch of cyber criminals, then you should have more judges to prosecute
Yeah.
them, or not prosecute them. Sorry, judge those cases.
Yeah. So that's passable.
Yeah.
I would say that's just good legislation. That makes
Okay,
sense.
we can do good legislation.
It's just logical.
Oh, yeah. So it's more people in a specific group that has jurisdiction to hear applications for a grant of orders approving electronic surveillance anywhere within the U.S. So it
Okay, that's
basically
not-
creates like a committee that does that, increases the number of people in that committee.
Okay. All right. That's
So-
not good legislation.
That's
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I sure hope that we're actually knowledgeable about the Patriot Act and we're not misunderstanding all of these, because it would be very unfortunate if we created this tier list and we got a bunch of comments saying that we actually didn't understand any of these acts and somehow
No, I mean
the
that would
202
be
is the
that would be
worst or
fine.
something.
Then we would learn more.
Yeah.
We would learn more.
Yeah. Then we'd get bullied on Twitter and it would be this whole thing. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe we should get bullied on Twitter. That would increase
I-
our exposure.
No, getting bullied on Twitter sucks and shouldn't happen to anyone. And also really awful. So
No, legitimately,
Yeah.
that's not cool. But
okay.
Anyways.
yeah.
So
209.
209. So it streamlines the process by which the FBI can gain access to voicemails. It turns it from a specific application for it, similar to the apprehension of, or the ability to, or authorization for the ability to intercept oral communication, stuff like that we talked in the early 200s, to a basic warrant. So, like, this can be any judge, it doesn't have to be attorney general.
I'm dropping.
What?
Be right back.
Well, we've lost our tier list. Okay, what do you think on this one?
What do I think on this one? I think again, it's not unreasonable. I think that it makes enough sense with just generally trying to keep up with technology.
Well,
Even
I
though
don't know,
it's not new technology, but it's not. It does not really bother me that much. I would be willing to put it as passable.
the thing is, there's a lot of later stuff on the apprehension of voicemails and similar information, and them downgrading it and making it basically, or it's the same as a basic warrant essentially,
Yeah,
to
well,
just
that
apprehend
we
that stuff.
we can deal with those when we deal with those, but I don't think that's necessarily obviously they wrote this so they could then do that, but I don't think that's the fault of this article in particular. I think this article in a vacuum is reasonable enough.
All right, sure.
So if we had access to the tier list, I think we'd put it in passable.
Sure. Okay. Section 210, scope of subpoenas for records of electronic communications. So this is a tiny one, I think. Oh no, of medium length. So
Okay.
if I remember correctly, yeah. So when when investigators apprehend information from telephone bill, toll billing records, telephone numbers, or other subscriber numbers or identities, it increases the number of things they can grab from just entity or the name,
Welcome back, Yari.
Thank you.
local and long distance telephone records, to name, address, telephone records, length of service, telephone or instrument number, or other subscriber number or identity, including any temporary assigned network address, the means and source of the payment for this service, and
For the telephone service?
so it basically means that when investigators grab this information, they are allowed to grab a lot more.
I don't like that. It's not like
Anyways,
I just have a personal moral objection to this, but I guess them knowing that you get your business from Comcast isn't horrible. It's just not preferable.
but it's also the method of payment and stuff like that.
Okay,
Hey,
that's
Let's catch Yari up on the stuff that.
I was
okay.
I was gonna say instead of going through by number, can we actually finish off by just like going through by your like favorites first, whether good or bad?
Let's
Sure.
yeah, we can do that.
Wait, are we past time?
Oh no, we're not
No,
past
not
time.
really.
We've got 40 minutes left.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. We
I
can do
just
that.
I just want to see. I just want
Yeah.
Yeah, we could
skip
skip
to-
ahead and then maybe move back if we
to
would.
yeah
like.
skip to the fun parts and fill in.
Okay. Real quick, can you put 209 if I can find it in passable? I think we
Passable?
put that one.
Yeah.
I would, except I do not see
Do we have 209?
209 here on the list.
Well, never mind.
So I'll just
Okay, that's too bad. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
yeah.
209.
So what was 209?
It basically streamlines. I'm just going to reread from my notes. Streamlines the process by which the FBI can gain access to voicemails to a basic warrant. So before it was a direct authorization from Attorney General, similar to the tapping of communications or wiretapping, interception, stuff like that. Now it's a basic warrant.
So like any judge can
Yeah.
signal for you to for someone's voicemails, which I don't think is abhorrent. I just would prefer. I don't know. It at least plays within the rules, and it's just getting information. It's just a warrant. It's just a warrant. So I don't really. I don't know if I have strong moral objections about that. That I don't see why I would dismiss that and justify the other parts of our basic legal process. So I don't really have an issue with it.
Okay.
So I think we decided to put it in passable, but that's all
I
right.
cannot add things to this list.
Nope.
No, only you
fine.
can. Okay. I was about to try. Oh well. What's your favorite of the ones we have left?
Um, there's one that's kind of just interesting in general. That was the 416, I think it is.
Mhm.
It sounds a lot worse than it is, to be honest.
Okay.
It's the
416 or 216?
416 Foreign Student Monitoring Program.
That does sound really bad.
That
Yeah.
sounds pretty bad.
So
That does. I'll give you that. It sounds very bad.
it's an increase in something that was already in existence beforehand. Let me pull it up
Well,
real quick.
I'm not too happy about the fact that it existed before. Something
This
called the
one-
Foreign Student Monitoring Program is a little
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what sort of monitoring? I mean,
Yeah, what is
admittedly,
it?
under the Patriot Act, we can kind of make an assumption about what sort of monitoring is, but what, give us the details.
Yeah. Let me 14. And then I don't actually have this one listed, I think, as one of the ones on the section, but yeah, let me stream that stuff.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
Do we have any more comments? Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
I would have read them off or responded.
Okay. Nope.
I have them in front
If
of
you're
me.
still with us, say something. I know it's been a long
Well,
stream, but please, I beg you.
Okay. So
Actually, you know what? I'm going to run a poll. How do you feel about the Patriot Act? Let us know when I finish this poll.
sure. I think I'm one of the watchers, so I might. Okay. Anyways, eh, I
yeah,
can't even remember anything on this
I
one.
think you are. Well, I think you are.
Yeah, you're live streaming.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm rereading this one because this is where I got about 12 at night.
Okay, so you're talking about 416.
Yep, 416.
Monitoring foreign
So
students?
what it does essentially is it changes a few. It's basically just changing words in an already existing act. So once you get to this area, so it's any situation where higher education is said, it's or other approved educational institutions. So it's about the vetting process that the government uses to designate certain like federal exchange students, like which schools you can go to, stuff like that. That stuff was already in place. This is just changing it
How's it
around somewhat.
expanded? Like, what's it change? How's it?
So it, yeah, the ones that they increase the number of the type of schools they can restrict from just higher education to other approved educational institutions. So it's extra things.
Okay, so they can like decide that foreign students aren't allowed to go to a certain American high school or something? Is that
That was already the case.
okay?
Yeah, so it's mostly that, as
And
far as
that's
I understood when I read through it.
Okay.
I mean, I might be like,
No, I mean you're right. That's like not it's not quite as bad as it sounds, that's for sure.
it's just I don't.
Where's the monitoring come in? Does it come in at all? Or is
I
it
mean,
just like
it's monitoring
designation
them.
of where you can go?
Yeah, it's kind of that level of stuff where it's like you're being monitored for which sections you can go to.
I
Okay.
just
I mean not
it's not terrible, but I don't really. It's not
It's
terrible, but
it's kind of
also
during
I
entry.
don't
It's not.
know how
my
much.
immediate question is just kind of like why is it here?
Yeah. My thought is just, well, I understand the purpose. I do feel like maybe we can go without this thing that we do where we decide what places in the U.S. foreign people are allowed to be. That's just not. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I would like to think that we can do without it.
Yeah, it would be nice if folks from outside the U.S. could just come to school here.
Yeah, could go to.
The visa process is hard enough as it is.
Yeah. But what sense does it serve to say, no, you can't, no, middle schooler, you can't go to this middle school.
Right, you have to go to like this other one or something.
Yeah, like what?
Yep.
What does that do other than
Put further restrictions?
Yeah. Serve possible fears that our government might have over certain groups of people that they're monitoring at certain times. Like that's It's just to put it in there so they have extra power over whatever groups they don't like at a certain point.
Yeah, that's interesting though. That's an interesting
Sorry, I had to take a second.
Also, I apologize. My poll doesn't seem to be loading.
No, it is not. Yeah. It is not. So, other favorites.
We didn't rank it, did we?
That one doesn't.
It's not on the list.
Yeah,
I can't.
I didn't put that one on the list because, like, that's what it is. It's doing that thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to maybe turn my camera off for a little bit and charge my phone.
Okay.
I'll still be here though.
Do what you do.
Okay. Yeah. Do we want an unofficial ranking for that one?
We can. I guess it's passable. I think it's passable because
passable.
Well, I think that we can maybe go without doing things like that. I'm not gonna say they totally have like completely evil, malicious intent. I just think that we can do without being so isolationist.
Oh yeah, no, the isolationist tendencies of our nation have been consistently plaguing us. Yeah, no, it's definitely a problem. Not a great thing.
Okay. Let's go to section 215.
Is that your next favorite?
That is the next favorite, and I think.
Okay, tell us about it.
Is it on the list?
Yeah, it is.
I believe so.
Okay.
So a little
we
bit
should
of
probably stick to the
list. What?
Yeah, be
it got
damned.
cut off.
List be damned.
A little bit of recent history on this one. This one actually had a sunset clause that was activated in 2005, which was then it was approved and extended to like 2010. It was sometime in Obama's presidency, and then he extended it like separate from like it's not judicial review, it's Congress. He just extended that stuff along with a bunch of other things in section 200 that
so just like through like executive power or something like that.
To 2020 where it's now being reviewed. It was now reviewed in December of 2020, and this one was stricken off. This was one of the ones of largest controversy. Basically, it allowed the government to obtain secret court orders requiring third parties such as telephone companies and other groups like internet service providers and stuff like that to hand over records or tangible things deemed relevant to international terrorism.
Yeah, this is the one that Meg was talking about.
Yep.
In our kickoff. Yeah.
Oh, did she have anything to say about it?
This is like how this
just
is
the regular mean words that anyone has when talking about the Patriot Act.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like she was talking about how this is how she talked to her sister about this about the Patriot Act, because this is the one that kind of introduced it. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's been finally taken off of the act. Yeah, but the fact that it was in there in the first place and that it was in there for so long, too.
Do we want to make this our first 1984?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think no qualms with that, because.
And then I think we should go to the other biggie and then maybe do a few more and then that are out of order and then close.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your panel, you run it.
Okay,
Give
let's
us your
take
faves.
our wandering eyes to section 505.
Okay.
Miscellaneous national security authorities. This is the
Uh-huh.
one where you can hold people indefinitely if they're foreign powers.
Wait,
boy.
sorry. We love that. So, sorry, hold people indefinitely if they're what?
Uh, it's the agents of foreign powers.
Agents of foreign. Is that the actual wording?
I think so. I need to. I'm looking through it right now. I need to find it.
And then I think this is also the one where it's like, okay, then they have to establish like what they define as foreign powers
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
something like that. Because especially with like groups like, when you start getting into like, okay, I think what they do, the way they stretch this, I think if it is worded as foreign powers, then I think the way this is funky is then it's also Al Qaeda is a foreign power.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Mhm.
Wait. Give me a second before we say anything more on this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um. I might be. Oh, wrong section. It's 412.
Okay, well that's fine. Doesn't matter. It's the content, not the number.
Yeah, mandatory detention of suspected terrorists, habeas corpus, judicial review. Yep, that one makes more sense to be that one. Sorry.
412.
412.
Okay.
So
Okay,
412.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Again, content, not the number. Okay. So 412.
Is
So
good.
yeah, it's suspected. So it doesn't even have to be foreign powers. It's suspected terrorists.
Oh, that's
Oh.
the wording.
Yep.
Yeah. Then you don't even have to work very hard to stretch that, do you?
And there was
Yeah.
actually a listed. This is non-verified information. This is while I was researching, I came upon this. There was a story of, I think this was in Syria, a man basically over the course of like 3 months tried several times to persuade this guy to rob a bank as part of a terrorist act and set off a car bomb within it, I think. No, it's just set off a car bomb. That's a separate thing. He denied several times. He even after being offered money to do so, he denied, eventually saying yes for a large sum of money. He invited 2 other people who were also
This
unwilling.
was in the U.S., not in Syria,
This was in the
from what I
U.S.?
recall. This was in the U.S.
Okay, sorry.
No, this was in like the northeastern U.S.
You
Yeah,
might
no,
know this better than
I've heard this as well.
you should read.
Yeah.
You should talk about it because this was in passing, so you probably know more about this than I do.
We've talked about this on the server actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I mean essentially exactly what you're saying. Like, it's the idea that but it was So the person was offered exactly what you're saying. Person was offered large sums of money. Person was told time and time again to I can't remember what. Oh no, it was. I did not hear this on the server. I heard this as part of a story on Radiolab. That's where I heard it.
Oh.
Which I do recommend. There's a story on Radiolab that ran recently that talks a lot about this.
Oh, cool.
It's called 60 Words, I think.
Anyways,
but yeah, the basically the gist of it is this person finally agreed to do this bombing. Didn't even do it well. Like didn't even like light the fuse at the end of it. Uh, but like delivered the stuff, was promised a large sum of money, and then convinced dubiously 2 friends to be involved in it, and then but of course the person that was trying to like constantly like trying to convince this guy using money was a plant from the FBI or something.
Yeah.
And so there was a case of this. There was a case brought up in court that I think went to the Supreme Court or something like that. Of whether, because the man and the two accomplices were charged with acts of domestic terrorism, and most of the work that had been done to monitor them and all that had been under the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Um,
This is
So the
section
government
that-
just
sorry.
created a domestic terrorist.
created a domestic terrorist
Yeah,
by creating a situation in which they could not refuse.
yeah.
Pretty
Basically, hyped up one guy's dreams of like, you know, fuck the state. Excuse my language. Enough that 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 he agreed to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
and
That
so
is
these three people are now serving life because they essentially were paid to do something they didn't even want to do after 3 months of coercion to do so,
by the
Um,
government.
which is, at least by this story, very clearly a case of entrapment, though,
yeah,
especially under the Patriot Act, it's really hard to prove. There's a lot of other issues with that. Like, he may have, or I think the like main defense was he may have done it already, or like done it anyways without any other thing. And
right. And that was the thing. It was like,
very much the case of proving he wouldn't have done that otherwise,
right.
which is difficult. I mean, it's an easy thing to say, difficult thing to prove.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he did it, but because you made him do it. But like, how do you prove that?
like there's no.
Yeah, yeah.
Very few people can.
Because the so how are you saying this falls under 412?
It's, I mean, they were arrested under that because they were suspected.
Oh,
terror
okay.
crimes.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, so this
it's
is
the
just
same
the
thing.
suspension of habeas corpus and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So, what are we thinking on 412? I mean, like,
I mean, the way it's
Cons-
been used, especially.
considering everything it can do and the ways it has been used, I'm thinking literally 1984 tier.
yeah, it should be on there. Yeah, 412.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on to a few of the more negative ones from section 200.
Sorry, what?
What?
More negative?
Are these
Go
not
on.
the negative ones?
Well, from section 200. Those are the
Oh, okay.
those are the really terrible ones. Okay, section 214, pen registers and trap and trace authority under FISA. For anyone who doesn't know watching, pen registers and trap and trace are two technologies used to that they're old terms for new things. So they used to be able to they were like physical machines that not physical, like you could attach them to a. I'm really explaining this bad. Anyways, it's able to observe outgoing and incoming calls, just their ID, not the actual content of the calls.
Okay. Right.
Trap and trace is outgoing and pen registers incoming. So
It's it's caller ID capture.
Yeah, basically. That's the new So section 214, fairly okay. It prevents the government from using trap and trace and pen register to observe U.S. citizens in a foreign nation within the bounds of the First Amendment. So
Prevents them.
This is restricting the government from this one's good.
What?
There are ones that are less good.
Wait, so
Sorry.
this one prevents them from doing those things?
This is. Do we have something that restricts executive power in the Patriot Act? Is that what you're telling me?
Yep. It very expressly
incredible.
says
Do we need a actually good tier now?
it's limited to like specifically First Amendment things. So like freedom of press, freedom of that stuff. It's only protecting that. If you're doing something outside of that, freedom of speech, then you can be observed, you can be tracked, all of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, but this specifically is making, like, the whole thing is
I mean, I
saying
have to.
no
Yeah.
for those things, right? Because if the whole thing is just putting a so it's not introducing anything, right? It's just putting a limit.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, this is good. This is good legislation.
I have to wonder how. Two things, like how broad was the ability for them to do that before? Was it there at all?
I think it just wasn't designated before.
Okay. And I wonder if like judges then like defaulted to like no, you can't at all. And so under this legislation, this might be like subtly expanding the scope.
Or you go.
Oh, I was just that. Like subtly expanding the scope by saying, well, it's, because it's only under First Amendment rights that it has to be protected,
Yeah.
That would change things.
The one thing about it is Section 214 has never been used for any court case ever in all of its 20 years of existence within U.S. code. It has not come up, I believe.
Okay.
So it's not like this is a very relevant issue. It's not. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's certainly reassuring.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the more weird stuff with trap and trace. That needed to be the introduction for.
Yeah, sure, yeah. What else?
So, and then there's 215, which we already discussed. Bad juju. Section 216, modification of authorities relating to use of pen registers and trap and trace devices. So it widened the definition of these things to URL capture and other forms of use, justifying the FBI's carnivore system in the 2000s. I need to explain what the carnivore system is. Sorry. It's essentially, it's a similar thing to what Snowden released information about. So it's widespread monitoring of network traffic by the FBI. Here we go. History of information. So it was released that essentially, I'll quote them. On July 11th, 2000, the existence of an FBI internet monitoring system called Carnivore was widely reported. Although the public details were sketchy, reports indicated that the Carnivore system is installed at facilities of an ISP and can monitor all traffic moving through the ISP. This FBI claims that Carnivore filters data traffic and delivers investigators only those packets that are lawfully authorized to obtain. It's largely secret. We still don't know a lot about it, but this specific section justified the FBI's use of the Carnivore system in investigations. So it specifically gave the FBI essentially permission after the fact to use this system to investigate URLs and intercept traffic and capture information. Though we don't know much about it, under the basic forms, it's the same, and under the more egregious issues,
So this is giving justification for the FBI to.
Sorry about that.
I know you're doubling. That's fine. Yeah.
no.
So this is you're not voice doubling. It's fine.
Okay.
Welcome. So it's giving justification for the FBI to track and trace,
it's
to search all your stuff.
So it's grabbing large-scale data traffic from internet service providers.
Oh,
That's what they were doing.
Fun.
So it after
I mean,
the
that's
fact,
what 412 was, right? Or not 412, 215.
215 was, I believe so.
So if right, that's what 215 was. That's what 215 was. 215 is the we grab data from, well, it was telephone companies at least.
Yeah, so it gave them, yeah, it's sorry, now I have the full picture because I did 215 after the fact. So it allows the government to obtain secret court orders requiring third parties such as telephone companies to hand over their information. So it's also ISPs. So that's also in combination with Section 216 gives them the ability to do this after the fact.
So I guess my question is, right?
Yeah.
216 is like, oh, okay, we have this secret system, carnivore, and and it's allowing us to, and we're justifying it, and we're also saying like, yeah, we're definitely going to use it, and we're gonna look at your stuff, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, without specifically mentioning carnivore as a system, that's what they're saying.
Sure.
Okay, so they had the system, or they worked on it later or something, and this is just kind of...
No, they were outed for the carnivore system before.
Yeah, that was Snowden, is what you're saying.
No, it was on the same vein, is what I'm trying.
Okay.
To say.
So
it was a large scale monitoring of information and
right.
traffic outed by someone on the inside.
215 is the one that says we can tell ISPs to give us the info.
Yes.
So if 215 is scratched now I'm not saying like, when the Patriot Act was first made, both of these combined really sucks, because that is the basic idea of like, we can look into your, that is like we can look at your computer and look into your internet usage and see everything you've done through your ISP, basically.
Yeah.
Right? But with the 215 scratched, what can they do with 216? Because it sounds like these two are paired together, basically.
With 216 only, it's definitely neutered 216 to a very large degree. It's widened the ability of basic warrants to capture information, so now they can capture warrants, or they can use warrants to capture URLs visited, stuff like that, but they can't have that same widespread influence over these larger ISPs to capture large scale data transfer.
Okay. So they can still, if they're like really trying to hunt you down, they can probably figure out some stuff based on things anyway, but they're going to have a lot harder time without 215.
Yeah. If the FBI was monitoring you, they can have a basic warrant and capture essentially all the same information they had before, before. With 215, they have the ability to capture that for anyone.
Okay.
And on a large scale of just all data. In the worst case scenario of what carnivore actually is.
Gotcha.
Okay. I do not believe it's still in use now.
So 216 is if we ask, we can look into you, and we will probably be able to figure out whatever we need to. 215, including your internet usage and whatever. And 215 which is why we put it under 1984, was
large scale acquisition.
Screw you! We've already taken all your info.
Yeah,
like it's been mined.
So what are we thinking about 216?
Honestly, I still think that's 1984. Frankly,
I'm tempted to put it in literally 1984.
Okay, sure. I mean, especially with the fact that
it's just like a slightly lesser category.
In tangent with, you might be able to add category. No,
nope. We already checked.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
What other fun ones are on here?
Let's take a look.
Give us the
You know,
tour.
how about I give just titles and we see if you guys are interested of the
Okay.
next 17 through 25, and then we can be all done.
If we need to, we could also come back to some of these Wednesday.
Sure, yeah. Okay, section 217, interception of computer trespasser communications.
Sounds pretty much the same as what's been happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lesser version of 215. It's weird. So
You're good.
It gave
If
law
you're
enforcement the ability to intercept traffic on an electronic device, given the consent of a device's owner. So, if we ask an ISP nicely, then we could still capture all their stuff. But that doesn't really happen.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
if I was on a server, like on a school server or something, and someone was doing nefarious things within the domain, I could give the Federal Bureau of Investigation the ability to intercept traffic on that. So not terrible. Not great, not terrible. Foreign intelligence information, section 218. That one's another really small one. It's a small change to USC 1804 A7B, which is, let me see. God, I need to not. The small. Do we want to skip that one, or do we want to go?
We can skip that one.
Skip it. Okay.
If you don't remember it, it's not important.
Let's get some quality in here.
Fun.
That's not true.
Section 219, single jurisdiction search warrants for terrorism. Increases the power and ease of single jurisdiction warrants for terrorist action. So previously, on certain or on most crimes nowadays, if there's a crime that takes up several different jurisdictions, you have to get a separate warrant from each one. With this, specifically within terrorism, single jurisdiction warrants, where you essentially get a warrant from one jurisdiction that is able to be used in another district. Okay. You can do that with terrorists.
Okay.
Yeah.
That, again, it does kind of feel like it oversteps a few checks and balances, but I understand why they did it.
Yes.
Because with something like terrorism, I guess urgency, things like that can matter. That it can factor in. I don't want to give this a terrible score. I'm thinking maybe passable. Like it steps on some toes, but in a circumstance like terrorism, so long as the word terrorism is being used, effectively and legitimately, I don't really have any issues with it.
So while we're on 219, let's also go to 220 because it's a very similar thing except for digital information release. Oh. So this one is actually really interesting because considering, I would actually rate this one higher. Sorry, let's go to 219 and then I'll explain my argument for.
Oh no, just tell us about 220.
So 220, there's the issue of the physical location of the data within these companies. So like, I believe, don't quote me on this, if you needed a warrant before the Patriot Act for this information, you would have to get a warrant within the jurisdiction of the company, like location where the data is stored.
Like the physical headquarters, and then go to the server.
Your jurisdiction and have it still affect them. Which is like, it's not, I mean, it's compensating for the fact that we are now in a widely decentralized internet-based kind of.
Yeah.
I think I'd be willing to put both of these, both 219 and 220, in passable. I think.
Okay, sure.
They're not.
I don't know. I'm not so sure.
What's your argument here?
I think I think mistakes were made.
Okay.
I think here's the thing is like as soon as you get to 220, which is saying basically this idea of like let's I don't know, it just strikes me wrong that if you want a warrant for an investigation into that data, that it does not matter where you do it, because that is going to lead to a necessity for like large scale law enforcement cooperation anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to? We can put that. We can put 220 in mistakes were made. Could we still maybe put 219 in passable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my vote.
Yeah.
That's my take on that. I don't know.
All right.
I mean, there's
If y'all
issues-
want to, if y'all think 220 is passable as well, like overrule me for heck's sake.
No,
Yeah.
we can do mistakes were made for
There's-
220.
Yeah, there's the side of it where it's compensating for technological advancement, which is always good in legislation, and then there's the side of it where it's also increasing the power of single jurisdiction warrants, which are kind of anti checks and balances
Mhm.
to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree with AJ on this one.
Some of
Okay.
these are hard because they're written in such a way where I feel like I'm kind of falling for it, right? Like some of these I read them and I'm like, oh, okay, I can understand how this sacrifice might need to be made. Then I kind of have to catch myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great. Not great.
Okay. Let's move on to trade sanctions.
All right.
Section 221, trade sanctions. Increased sanctions of materials for WMDs and chemical weapons and general trade for Syria, North Korea, and parts of Afghanistan owned by the Taliban.
So this
So
signal. So this
Well,
it signals certain enemies of ours out. Is that correct?
basically,
Like it lists those names.
Syria, North Korea, parts of Afghanistan owned by the Taliban. And it's sanctions for materials for WMDs and chemical weapons specifically.
I don't know because I don't.
It's
Syria?
Syria,
Sorry, say those names again.
North Korea, Syria,
Uh-huh.
and parts of Afghanistan owned by the Taliban. Not Iran or not any of that area.
Not even
Just-
Iraq, which
or Iraq or
I know at the time was like all the rage of the Saddam Hussein has a program for nukes, which clearly, right?
yeah.
But it's like
Why are we dealing with this with like sanctions?
It is one of the ones where it's like, why is it here?
Yeah. Why?
And Syria?
By inserting the Taliban or territory Afghanistan controlled by Taliban after Cuba. Wait, I'm trying to find.
Syria's nasty people.
In section 906A2 of the Trade Sanctions Reform and Export Enhancement of 2000, by inserting or any other entity in Syria or North Korea after Korea. So it's widening the scope of these things to North Korea and Syria
Oh, I
specifically.
was gonna say there's probably already other sanctions on there. Then
Yeah, I'm gonna go to 906A2 of
okay,
this.
okay. So it's not so much it's an expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not it's an expansion of a separate thing. It's not
But
most
it's
of these
still.
things are.
It's. I mean,
But
I'm
it's still
not.
why do we? It's still why
Okay.
do we fight the trade wars, right? Because usually they just end up hurting Americans. Though I don't really think Americans would need for chemical weapons. But also, why would we be trading chemical weapons with them? I don't understand this one.
Yeah, it's
I mean, this is interesting. That's a good point. I think there's definitely something to be said about fighting trade wars as opposed to fighting gun and tank and bomb wars.
I mean, as opposed to gun wars or nuke wars,
Right.
I prefer trade wars. But also,
Same.
again, those
It
trade.
is
I mean,
it is a way of exerting it is a method of exerting pressure, presumably.
yeah.
Um,
And
uh,
I just why are we talking about trading chemical weaponry with these parts of like these governments anyway?
right. So, I mean, we could get into the whole history of the region and how, we destabilized that area so many times.
yeah.
Uh, and I think that's, definitely worth mentioning. I also think there's something to be said here about the inclusion of the distinct fact that like we have Afghanistan and Syria and North Korea included all on this list, along with
These are
you know
separate sections. North Korea and Syria are in separate sections from Afghanistan.
oh, okay, thank you. Okay. So we're saying Afghanistan, which is like, oh, and they're saying like Afghanistan as controlled by the Taliban, or sections of that country which are controlled by the Taliban,
Yeah,
and then also Syria and North Korea.
yeah.
Gotcha. My bad.
Okay.
I was
Well,
I was misreading that.
I think I'm gonna need to head out actually.
Yeah, no, sure. We're
That is
basically
all
at the end.
right. We
Um,
can hang this up. Do we want to reconvene sometime Wednesday and maybe finish the other half of this?
Maybe.
um,
Most of the other, I kind of cut out most of the boring ones. I can give some more info on some of the ones that we didn't get a chance to get to.
Yeah. Well, I know Mitch also he's available Wednesday, and I think he wanted to participate in some of this. So it sounds like a win-win.
Yeah.
we can chat with him and ask.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the education. So I'll do the sign out as always, right?
Yeah. Or I can.
Thank you all for.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I can do the sign out. I can. We can share the sign outs.
Go for the sign
We're a
out. Do
swarm
the sign out.
society.
Do the
All
sign
right.
out.
So well. Thank you all for coming to this event. We hope you had fun. We know it was a bit long, and we don't understand the Patriot Act, but I think that's even more of a reason why we should be skeptical, because sometimes all of the legalese can really disguise what people are up to. So it's important to at least try to be educated and try to do your best in understanding what government procedures are really about. On that note, please visit our website, uspirates.org. We have all sorts of information on what you can do to help out with the Patriot Act protest. Remember to tweet with the hashtag #UnPatriotAct on Twitter, and remember to sign our petition, which, can we get that in the description of this video?
I will make sure to put that in the description
Excellent.
of this video shortly.
But it's
Yes,
also
to
on our
that.
website. If
Yes.
you go to our website, there should be a post. There should have a nice banner. Should be the first blog post. That should have all of the information on our event if you are so inclined to get more involved. That being said, we should be back again tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I believe, 8 o'clock Eastern time, with
Yep.
more streams and events. So remember to check back in then. But for now, we greatly appreciate all of you coming out. Vote Pirate. Let's stay strong. Let's get through this event. We have more fantastic things coming up for you, and we hope you enjoyed the evening.
Have a good one. Thank you all. Stream's out. We're done.